Hi everybody, I'm Barb.
And I'm Ed.
And we're here today on the ArtyRV Glass Studio channel to talk about jewelry hinges. Everyone's been asking about the hinges, and so I got Ed here today and he's going to tell us how to...
wrestled me in
I wrestled him in and he's going to tell us all about how to... He's going to show me how to add a hinge. So what is the first step? Should I remove the hinges or should I remove the chain, or what do I do
Well,
first?
I think what we want to do is we want to free this lid up, because now it's like a dog on a chain.
So what's the best way?
So the best thing to do is just to take this, and you see where the jewelry chain is attached right here? So we're just going to take our iron and just set it right there, just like that. Let's see what we got. There we go. Okay. So when removing the jewelry chain, you try not to mess up the bead on the inside, because you are going to reattach it.
Okay, so we're going to use that.
We're going to reuse that chain.
Oh, okay.
It's still attached to the box. So now our next form of attack is we're going to take the old existing hinge off. And you'll notice, I want you to notice that the hinge is on the bottom of the glass. Okay, so we're going to remove this hinge. And it's probably just going to drop right off, because once we get everything nice and hot,
Same method.
the same method, we're just going to take it, and there you go, that hinge just popped off. Okay, so we're going to clean up this edge, Barb. See this edge right here? We're going to clean that up. Now we're going to take our copper foil that's existing on here,
Oh, okay.
and we're going to peel all this back. Now I have alcohol over here with us today, because we want to clean this really well, because we're going back on with a new foil, and there's no reason that you want to just like use the foil, you know, where it was just torn. Don't try to piece that, everybody. And now we're going to clean this edge here up. We want to expose the foil by eliminating the solder that's around it, because we're going to refoil this right here. This right here, we're going to take a little bit of alcohol. I just like to use isopropyl alcohol, Barb.
And that'll be strong enough to get that glue off of there?
Well, it's going to help us. And I also have my X-Acto knife. Now we're going to remove the old hinge pins. And you'll see right here, so this hinge is bent on a 90 degree, and then it only goes down into the side of the box, about 3/8 of an inch. It doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Because, and that's what a misconception for a lot of people is, that they try to go all the way to the bottom, and it's really difficult to do. We're going to set our iron right here on the side.
There you go.
Just that little bit. And we're just going to take, and we're going to melt that up, just real easy. But you don't want to mess up where the hinge pins go. So we're just let's just clean this up a little bit, okay? And we're gonna clean this one up a little bit. So we wanna reiterate that we're cleaning this really well, because we are gonna re-copper foil it. And a very important thing I'm gonna show you about this box lid again is that you see where these lines come down and they don't go all the way to that edge? This is what's helping support this hinge placement as we go through the process. So I'm gonna clean this up, and when we come back, we're gonna foil this, and I'm gonna show you the most important part of this whole process. It's how to cut the hinges, Barb.
Okay, let's go. So you just apply the copper foil as normal, right?
Yeah, and we're gonna bring it up the side here a little bit, Barb. We're gonna take it up the side about 1/4 of an inch.
Okay.
And you know, you have your typical overlap is 1/4 of an inch anyway. So this, we want to make sure that it's just really applied well. And we're going to use our trusty Fid to heat up that glue. And then we'll take this down. And you know, when you're copper foiling, every piece that you do should be done this way, okay? There shouldn't be any wrinkles in it. There shouldn't be anything that could hinder a beautiful solder job along. Now, if you can remember correctly, this is the inside, because there's where our jewelry chain is at. That looks really nice. There's no, you know, no wrinkles or anything, nothing for anything to grab a hold to.
Tin this first?
We're gonna tin this first, and then we're gonna apply. We're gonna show everybody at home how to cut that hinge. You know, this is just a light tin, no beading on this, everybody. Just a light tin, and we are using 60/40 on our panel. That's from the other side where it heated up. You see the chain?
Yeah, I see.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So we're just gonna tin this. That's all we wanna do is tin this right now, everybody. Okay.
So you tin both sides.
Yeah, you want to tin both sides because eventually we're going to be working on both sides. So what I want to show you is that we have two different size tubes. We have a 3/32 brass tube, and then we have a smaller tube that fits inside of it, like this. Hey everybody, this is your hinge. Let me show you. This is your hinge. Okay? That's how that works, just like that. So this is your hinge pin that goes inside your hinge, preferably about 1 inch, and then you have a 3/8 bend going down at 90 degrees. But let me show you. The simplest way to cut your hinge, because you don't want to bend it and you don't want to cut it with wire shears because you're going to find you get a flat end. And now that messes you up for the next go round.
Okay, so what size do we cut this?
We're cutting these approximately 1 inch long.
Okay.
So these hinge parts are going to be approximately 1 inch long. Okay, so we took and we cut. Now we've cut just a little notch on one side here, and now that'll break it. Our hinge hole for our small hinge pin is not compromised now. You have to notch it till you go into the opening of this, and then you can fold it over and it will not pinch it. So
the hole is open.
The hole is open, and I have a little piece of sandpaper that I'm gonna do that too. And I'm gonna take my little hinge and I'm gonna make sure. There you go, look. No problems. No problems there. We need one more, everybody. So this is just like a little hacksaw, but it's got like 60 teeth per inch, so it's really fine. You can also use the edge of a file, not a nail file, but like a regular file. So now we've got that. Now we have our small pin that's right here. So this one, remember folks, fits inside of this. We'll go ahead and cut these pins too, and we'll bend them. We'll show everybody how to bend them. Okay. So there's that. So now what I'm gonna do is, you can see here, I've got it inside my grousing pliers. And you can see that in here, basically not quite all the way. I want to be about that far, and then I'm going to bend the rest of this down. Okay, like that. And then we're going to put this. So we're going to take this and 90 degrees. Just like that. Okay. So we just built a hinge, Barb. And 90 degrees, okay? Okay, so there's that one, Barb.
Okay, that's nice.
Right.
So easy.
All right, so now we're back to the lid, everybody. Everybody knows how to make a box. The lids are what's important. This lid, if you look at it, you lift it up from this right here, actually. It's lifted up with your right hand underneath the petals on the flower. And I love this design, Barbara. All right, so let me show you all this. Now remember, we have a little bit of solder on this side. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take two little blocks, that just slide under the glass. So that'll hold the hinge exactly where I want it. Because I want this hinge, I'm taking the pins out, everybody. You've got to be careful here, because if you solder the wrong thing, you want your hinge placement to be on the bottom, though. On the bottom of the glass. See that? So we're going to take a little bit of flux.
So you really just need to tack it first, right?
Yeah, because I want to look at it, and it looks pretty good right now.
Do you want me to hold it? Got it?
So we're going to take that. Turn my solder for me there, Barb. Thank you. I'm going to take that. And we're just going to tack it in place right now. Now what you want to make sure you stay away from is this end here, because you'll never get your rod in there if you close it up, okay? So we're going to take this one off, and this one, remember, this one goes here. We're going to turn that around. And again, y'all, this is important. This little edge right here is so important. You can't even imagine how important it is.
You will if you don't do it right.
Well, if you don't do it right, you'll imagine, you'll be able to imagine exactly how important it is. Little tiny bit. You probably saw the color of that hinge change.
That brass gets hot quick.
Yes, it does. Okay. All right, so now you can see the hinge placement on this bar is at the bottom side of the glass.
Okay.
Okay, because remember, now we're using 1/8 inch glass, and we're using a 3/32 hinge. So what's that leave us? A 32nd of an inch. And that is what we need to do what we need to do. Now, again, we want to put this on here. We want a quick, easy bead. I'm going to let that cool, and then we're just going to bring that up. There we go, just like that. Okay. All right, Barb, so, we got the hinges applied on here.
Okay.
And that's great. Now what we want to do is we want to bead this back edge up, because we really need this foil to be quite rigid,
right,
even though it's, just hanging on the back.
Right.
So then the other thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we bring this line here down on top of that hinge.
Okay.
Okay, and that's going to give us our point that separates us from the back to the front, which allows the hinge to rotate on the box, okay? Right. So let's go ahead. I've got my solder turned up like my little helper here. Mm-hmm. And so we're just going to wipe our soldering iron. And we're just going to do a touch and go method all the way across the back edge. And you can see it. It's beading up like it's supposed to. See that? It's making it rigid. See that roll in that solder bar? Mm-hmm. There you go. So let's patina this, or clean it. Got my baking soda in my water. And we're going to clean it up really well. So we're going to go ahead and patina the whole thing. And you can apply this with a brush if you choose to. But we're going to apply this with a paper towel. And that really does a trick, doesn't it, Mara?
Mm-hmm. So we're all done with the top except the chain, right?
Yeah, except for the chain. So what we want to do now is we're going to bring this over here, or bring the box over. I'll go ahead and clean this out real quick as well. So remember, Barb and I, we always talk about clean this, make sure you clean this good, clean this good, clean that good. It all should be cleaned well, because the flux really messes things up, doesn't it, Barb?
Yeah. I mean, you could even wash this.
put it under warm
Eventually,
soapy
yeah.
water. Yeah.
Eventually.
On small things, I like to put them under warm soapy water.
But for the sake of this, we just want to
Yeah,
see
and we're just
it.
showing you, everybody knows how to clean their glass, everybody knows how to solder, but
I mean,
now,
you can clean it thoroughly,
but
but right now that's good.
now this is what we're doing. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna insert our hinge pins, Barb. Okay. Okay, there's one hinge pin.
This is where you need 3 hands.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and so now you just
Okay,
set
so
them.
that just goes there.
Do you want me to flux it?
If you would, please.
Look at the flux.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me hand it to you. It'll be easier. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to take our soldering iron and our solder.
Oh,
Oh, I got it. There we go.
got it?
So there you are, y'all. So just a quick trick about your jewelry chain, okay? Lay the box on its side. Now remember, you always want to have some slack in your jewelry chain, okay? The other thing you always want to have is a pair of needle nose pliers because you're going to need them. So we're going to turn this around so you can see it. I'm going to bring my left hand from underneath. I think my camera guy can get that.
Okay, so we're going to clean this up, patina the rest of the solder, and we'll show it to you, and look for a new video coming out on how to build these jewelry boxes.
Barb, thanks for assisting me on that, and I knew it answered,
Well, thanks
hopefully
for teaching me
it
how-
answered some questions that you had, and I hope it answered some questions that our viewers had.
If this helped you and you learned something from this, and this is something you like to talk about and learn about, subscribe to our channel for more videos.
Thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm Ed,
And I'm Barb.
and we're the ArtyRV channel.
And we're the Streeters.
Thanks again.